Hello everybody, in this video I'm showing you my Necromancer build. First of all, let's take a look at some gameplay before we jump into things. Alright, before we begin, these are the final skills that I'm using right now. The footage you're going to see is me, of course, getting into actually the final build, so it might be slightly different. Of course, you're going to see everything I'm going to explain, but keep in mind, these are the final skills I'm using. And without further ado, let's begin. Now, as you can see, the build is absolutely crazy, and it's built with lots of synergies. I'm putting everything, patch everything that actually didn't work well. I try everything on tier 2, bosses, lots of enemies, everything that the game can throw at me and try to see if I survive. If not, I patch it in a different way. But it's built around this core legendary perk, Blood Mist triggers corpse explosion on surrounding corpses. When Blood Mist detonates a corpse, its cooldown is reduced by 0.8 seconds. Alright, let's go over the item first and what I have. Again, keep in mind it's not final and I'll continue to improve it through the open beta. So as you can see, damaging an allied enemy grants me barrier. This is so for synergy, and also when fighting a durable enemy, this is very important. Just in case, you know, those SOS things that automatically trigger, I don't need to do anything for both synergy and for extra durability. Now this one has damage reduction for close enemies and distant enemies. Basically, in this build, I want to be the one who control when I want them near me, when I don't want them, and when I actually want to pull them near me in order to take advantage of the explosions. Next one is becoming injured while crowd control, grants you unstoppable, especially, you know, when you get frozen, you kind of stuck and you get lots of damage. This will just remove the CC, will prevent any other CC for the 4 seconds, and allows you to get out in those situations. Alright, things will just get better from here, I'm telling you. Look at that. Blood Mist, this is a skill that gives you active immunity, increased speed, and the damage is not really important here, it's low, but you also get healing based on your maximum life. So speed, healing, and immunity. Now we also have the modifiers that casting a skill that overpowers reduces the cooldown of Blood Mist. So basically I want again to use it, you know, as I combo it like one after the other. Sometimes I did like 4 times, 5 times. It was nuts. And we just explode and you can do it again and again, and you're just going to reset and you do it again and again. It's super powerful, especially when we are overwhelmed with enemies. It just scales very well because the more enemy there are, the stronger you get, the more damage you deal. And we also get fortified, as you can see as well, getting less damage. So in our build, what actually triggers the explosion is the Blood Mist, alright? Not the specific skill for the skeleton that make them explode. Although you can use it as well if you like. Now regarding this kite, the weapon, I just put the head near just to show you the synergy. I have deal 33% increased damage while you have a barrier active. And you can see in the helmet, the legendary perk that I imprinted, damaging an allied enemy grants you a barrier, absorbing up to, alright, so basically we get a barrier, and when you get a barrier, we also get 33% increased damage. which is great, of course, especially if you are dealing with allied. We want to eliminate the allied very, very fast. That extra damage always helps. This is Vigo's protecting amulet. As you can see, when hit while not healthy, a magical bubble summoned around you for this is long immunity. This is kind of, again, automatic SOS, just in case you are getting low. You see the pop-up. It's good for you if you're playing with yourself or with teammates. Give you immunity bubble. It's crazy. It does have a long cooldown, but basically when you need it, it's going to be there for you. Now, using this core ability, which is just crazy, called Severe, you can actually point the cursor further away. It will hit far or close to you, and it's absolutely devastating, but it's very, very costly. So alongside some resistances here and extra life regeneration, I have the imprinted gain 70 of your primary resource for every 20% of your life that you heal. And because I have healing as well, I generate more primary resource, which allows me to use basically, again, all my skills, but this is very, very important for this one, pretty fast. You know how annoying it is where your character just say, you know, that it's out of resources, and basically we need those in order to keep the combat flowing, higher DPS, higher damage, and higher everything. Basically, you just keep on going rather than just, you know, stopping and waiting for your resource to generate. The other one that I have, by the way, it's not really important for my build. I'll probably replace it soon. The one thing that really buffs up my immunity and my defense is the Storm Shield of this audience. 45% block damage reduction, 20% block chance. Extra crowd control, you're going to use it a lot. You're going to see skills in a moment. Essence cost reduction. Thorns, again, enemy going to be lots of enemies close to me. It's a nice benefit, nice bonus. Gain 0.5% increase armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage, taking up to 50%. I'm telling you, this is just nuts how durable it's going to be. But one thing that's important to note is that also you see main hand weapon, because I'm using one weapon or two, damage increased by 80%. Now keep in mind, there are synergies with the Thorns, which why this one can actually be very good for him, but in this particular build, I'm not invested in it, but you know, there's an option, of course, if you level up, to put some more synergies on the Thorns as well. So buff up for Zipper Thorns for a skeleton and such, but I didn't use it in this particular build. Again, limited. I could add it later on. We're gonna go quickly all the other ones. Skeleton. I'm using skirmishes. The second one is for getting basically more essence. I told you I want to generate it fast so we can deal more damage also with my weapon as well, and of course do any other thing. This helped me well. The more resource I have, the more damage I'll have, even without actually having extra damage or, you know, bonus damage and stuff. The fact that I can actually continue doing what I do, I'll just deal much more damage instead of just waiting and doing nothing. Now, my primary is replaceable, but I use it to generate extra resource. Basically, this is important. Otherwise, if I have some better synergy, I'm probably going to replace it with something else. This is the server. It's absolutely insane. Extra damage based on the number of minions I have, and I have plenty. This is the Blood Mist that I showed you before. Very, very dominant, prominent in this build. You see the modifiers as well. This is for cursing. Basically, the curse, by the way, is absolutely insane, as you can see here. Basically, I get, again, chances, of course, some of them reduce cooldowns, stun enemies, slow them by 43%, make them deal less damage, so they did less damage, and I also, again, have crazy amount of damage reduction. So, amazing. They also have a chance to stun enemies as well, and even further cooldown reduction. Again, I wanted the build to feel very responsive with little delays as possible. Now here I didn't actually get it for the speed. So you can see when damage enemies with darkness skills, again, one of my is very, very strong. They take 10% increased shadow damage from you and your minions for 2 seconds, taking up to 3 times. And you see bonus shadow damage. Next one is 4%. The next one is for synergy. It's called Terror. Darkness skill deals 6%. Bonus damage to enemies who are slowed. Remember, we are slowing. Look at the left. Remember the 43% slowdown. And I can use it, by the way, like indefinitely. You can just spam it like crazy. to enemies who are stunned or immobilized. We are also stunning, immobilizing as well. The bonuses stack and apply to shadow damage dealt by your minions. All right. Other thing is bonus darkness damage versus slowed 9%, bonus darkness damage versus stunned or immobilized 9%. Again, we are stunning and we are slowing down enemies as well. So you might think, all right, all these debuffs on the enemy as well, you get in return, you get lots of damage in return by actually applying it. So you don't actually lose, you actually really gain a lot by both, again, strong CC, damage reduction, and you also did lots of damage as well. Now regarding this one, if I want to generate fast, I'm going to replace my basic ability with this one because it's going to give you higher chance if I upgrade it completely. Higher critical strike chance. And of course, I'm using the Golem because it can tank enemies like crazy. And again, if I'm using the ult, it's going to be very. So how do you use this build? Well, simply, first of all, make sure your army is up. And if not, use one in order to make your army from corpses. Start with 3, which is the slow. Put in the location where enemies are located. You can just spam it whenever you like in the location if you missed it, for example. And if one there's corpses, you can use 4 body or what they're doing right now. This will make enemies tank to the golem, so it won't actually attack you. And then you can start exploding, and you can see, poof! I can explode again. I can combo again. Very, very quickly. And when there are more enemies, I can chain it like even 3, 4, 5 times. Really, just nuts. So it scales very well the more enemies there are. You can see the barrier is active. You can see kind of white. When barrier is active, make sure to attack enemies. Take advantage of the extra damage that you get when the barrier is active. And don't worry about being in a pool of whatever. You are very durable with this build. Just in case you get really high damage, you have your SOS. It will trigger automatically and give you the immunity. Or in case you can activate it yourself. Remember, 2 immunity. So when it comes to world bosses, don't be afraid because you have active immunity and the automatic one. Here, by the way, you can also give another strategy. You can stay far and let the minions do their thing rather than getting in. Or maybe when you get a barrier, just get in, to deal the extra damage. By the time they're all going to be corpses on the ground, you can just explode them. In this case, I didn't have it yet. But, this is early testing on the build. I'm just showing you. So you can start from far, let the minion get in. All the golem tank enemies, and then once there are lots of corpses, you can just explode, or when you have the barrier, you can start getting in and enjoy the extra damage. Again, both of them, you'll be very safe. And also was quite surprised how durable my minions were. I didn't really invest into making them so durable, but yeah, they survived very, very well. And of course, the most important thing is that this build is really fun to play. Of course, the emphasis was to get something strong, but if I build that I'm really going to get bored with it, I'm not going to enjoy playing. What's the point? I mean, I'm not just playing to be, just feel strong. I want to enjoy every single moment that I play the game, and having a proper build, that's the way. But again, it has to be both. It has to be both really well, and this build actually delivers. I started getting with playing with the Necromancer and was a bit bored, and I just decided to create something that would be really fun to play. Again, the emphasis here also to make something that is good for all the situations, like when you are overwhelmed with enemies, one that scales well where there are many enemies. It can be great in boss fights, it can be against especially boss fights that lots of elemental damage. It can be great when you are on the level and you go into a place where you need to be very durable, or if you want to try out higher tier but a bit low and you want to get in and you want to survive. Also emphasize on damage and also have great degree of control, so if you don't want, for example, to disengage directly, you still have the option to be very, very strong. If you are deciding to disengage, you actually option to get extra buff, for example, like with the barrier, so you can get in, you have a barrier to initiate, and you're going to have this extra defense. It's also great to get world bosses as well. You can evade, by the way, damage with active and passive immunity, which is basically SOS, that even if you get really low, it can actually save you, just popping out the barrier, give you immunity. It's also good for when you are playing with friends, so you can use this immunity, and overall it's absolutely, again, a blast to play. And personally, I think, again, of course you can go without minions, but if I'm going without, all the fun here, if I'm already choosing the Necromancer, is actually having and enjoying the path. I mean, otherwise I'm probably going to go with the Rock, personally. And I'm not saying it's better or anything, I'm just saying that if I already play with the Necromancer, I really want to enjoy having those pets and make the most out of it. Now everything was tested on tier 2, as you can see at the top right corner. Very early on, you can see me actually testing the build, when I was level 22, trying to figure out things, and it was much less powerful and durable when I'm actually right now with the build, and it was still very good. I mean, I was surprised. But of course, I spent time trying to page things, create more synergies, try to make the most out of this build, and this is even without the key component here and lots of other things available. And it was very easy relatively, and now of course it's just a piece of cake with the build completed. It's not completed entirely, there are many things I can improve of course, but again I'm going to do it of course when I jump into the final game where I have more points to invest and spend more time trying to optimize the build further. I'm going to play the druid next, but overall that's my build, and it's very, very strong. It was very strong early on, it's now absolutely insane. It's super fun to play. I hope you enjoyed this one. If so, give a like and subscribe. I'm going to get many more builds, so make sure to subscribe, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Cheers.